First, we want to welcome all the new people. The other people are still on their way. We, Baruch Hashem, moved to the community not too long ago, and we see that there is a big potential and there is a thirst, not only to water, but also to knowledge of Hashem in this community. And there is a lot of also of our brothers, the Bukharian brothers, the Sephardi people around that want to grow in their closeness to God, to Hashem. So Baruch Hashem, we're getting together every Tuesday. It's going to be Yushvo or not Yushvo. Every one of us have to put the efforts to come. I'm sure it's very hard for every one of us to attend the shiurim, but kol hakavod that you're making all schedule available, that you're going to make it to the shiur, to the class at Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to say bracha. I'm going to have everybody in mind, whoever wants me to have in mind. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll start. The shiur order, the class usually goes that the beginning we're starting about the laws of Shabbat, and then afterwards we are turning into the laws of kids' education and the proper approach about kids. This is applicable to mothers, to grandmothers, to mothers to come, to be. This is something we all can know and use. We have sha'akol for everybody?
1 second.
Bring it. So when we come to the laws of Shabbat, people many times ask about washing the dishes. We spoke about that a person is allowed to wash the dishes on Shabbat, and he's according to Halachah, if he has a tank system, Mr. Bahanes, if you have a tank system, you can use on Shabbat even the hot water. You don't have to use only cold water to wash the dishes by Shabbat. You're allowed to use even, it is hot water. Mutar, because you have tank system. Some systems are tankless. If it's tankless, then it's a little bit of a problem because it's right away happens. But if it is tank-based system, there is tank over there, you're allowed to open this water on Shabbat. You don't have to wash dishes with clean water. You're allowed to use it directly. Open the faucet, even though the water becomes very hot. According to the halakha, Rabbi Yosef says it is allowed. Now, what happens to the sponge? You know, on Shabbat we have special sponge. That the idea behind the sponge is that the sponge, by Jewish law, we're not allowed to make the sponge absorb liquids. The idea of Shabbat sponge, it's that they made a special way that the sponge has no sponge, has nothing to absorb. It's 100% plastic, the Shabbat sponge. That's why whenever you are going to relatives, and you know the Sephardi women are very helpful when it comes to guests. Whenever a Sephardi woman is a guest by somebody, she always goes to the kitchen to help. Lo meshane ma, she always goes to the kitchen to help. So sometimes there's also need to help to wash the dishes. She wants to do chesed to wash the dishes, but she sees, looks around, the sponge that the lady that she is hosted by has only regular sponge. She doesn't have Shabbat sponge. What should she do? Can she wash the dishes with this regular sponge or not allowed? Says the halakha, if it is not Shabbat sponge, you're not allowed to use that. Why? Because as you're going to use the sponge and press it against the plates, the sponge is going to absorb the water, and as you press on it, it's going to squeeze out the water. So squeezing on Shabbat is one of the laws. That's why you cannot squeeze your towel, squeeze your garment, squeeze something on Shabbat. You know, some women have the table that they wipe with a cloth, right? Trepka, wet cloth, right? After she finishes, she has no permission to squeeze that, because squeezing on Shabbat is one of the 39 laws that we're not allowed to do on Shabbat. It's like smoking on Shabbat, no difference, like turning on a fire on Shabbat or making squeezing on Shabbat. That's why the Hasidim came up with an idea. What's the idea? Disposable tablecloths. You put it one time, after one time you wrap it up, and that's it. No need to wipe anything. So you can have your beautiful tablecloth, and on top of it you put disposable one. Like this, after you finish the meal, you wrap it up without need of squeezing any sponges in order to wipe the table. The table gets wiped clean very quick and very easy.
You put two.
So, huh?
Can even put two.
You can put two, you can put 20.
One for the dessert.
You can do that also. So that's the idea why it's important on Shabbat to get the tablecloth that they are disposable. Like this, you're not gonna have a problem of squeezing the towel because there is no any towel to squeeze. You just clean it very quick like that. And the sponge that you get Shabbat sponge. Tell you the truth, my wife says that Shabbat sponge is even better than regular sponge. She uses it during the week also.
Oh, scrubs better.
It scrubs better. It goes very quick and easy. She says that's the best. What happens? Birshut morai verabotai. I'm gonna have you in mind for the bracha she'akot. Please, everybody that hear the bracha, answer Amen. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam shehakol niya bidvaro.
Amen.
Welcome to us. Come. If a person does not have Shabbat sponge, what should she do? She want to help that woman. What should be done? It says halakha, you're allowed to put bag. You know a shopping bag? You're allowed to put a shopping bag. Shopping bag does also a good job. With a shopping bag, you can wash the dishes without any problem. It also doesn't absorb. So that's an alternative solution whenever you're stuck without Shabbat sponge. You have a regular sponge, no problem. Put that aside. Take a regular bag, and with that bag, you're able to wash the dishes. Huh? Yeah, you can take your also shopping bag and squeeze it a little bit. It doesn't absorb.
Latex glove?
Latex glove, yeah, same thing.
I
No problem. Here, Mr. Davido is asking a good question. What if you put a latex glove and we want to wash the dishes because you don't have Shabbat sponge? What should you do? Halakha says it's okay, it's allowed. But he says, what if it's going to rip? While you're going to go like that, it can ripped. Korea. But is it a problem, Mechalel Shabbat or no? Says Halakha, no problem. Why? Because your kavanah was not to rip it. Your kavanah was to wash with this. It's not also for sure to happen. It's not pasik reshet. It's called davar she'eno mitkaven. And davar she'eno mitkaven, no problem. So if a woman stuck without Shabbat sponge, the alternative solutions will be regular shopping bag that doesn't absorb. It's nylon, plastic, or latex gloves. Do with them like this, the Shabbat, the wash of the dishes. What if you have a cleaning lady? Are you allowed to tell the cleaning lady, listen, lady, I want you to wash the dishes? And you know that the lady is going to turn on the dishwasher. She also got advanced in her cleaning. She is advanced cleaning lady. She's going to use the dishwasher for Shabbat. Can she wash the dishwasher for Shabbat or no? It's in the Jewish house. It's in your house. Says halakha, because you didn't tell her to turn on the dishwasher. You told her to wash the dishes. She could have washed the dishes by hand, or she could have washed the dishes by the dishwasher. She chose to put it by the dishwasher. Because of that, says halakha, Victor, ma'ameret halakha, mutar. Why? Because you were not the one to tell her to use the dishwasher. You the one to tell her to wash the dishes. She chose to do the dishwasher.
What if it makes a lot of noise?
Even if it makes a lot of noise. According to Ashkenazim, if you turn on a machine, Ashkigoy turns on a machine that makes noise,
Vacuum.
it's a problem. But according to Sfaradim, it's not a problem.
Now she takes the vacuum, she starts vacuuming all the
It's allowed.
Yeah,
If she wants to vacuum the house by Shabbat, no problem. If she wants to use the dishwasher by Shabbat, no problem. If she wants to do whatever she wants, as long as it's her decision, and she could have get the result in a kosher way. Could I wash the dishes in a kosher way on Shabbat? Yeah. You can take a Shabbat sponge and wash it even with hot water, like we said, it's allowed.
Yeah.
So since I could have get to the end result the same way without using the dishwasher, the fact that the Goya chose to use the dishwasher, it's not my business. It's her decision. So therefore it's allowed. Goya can turn on the dishwasher in your house on Shabbat. She can vacuum. Can you wash the walls, the floor with a bounty? Yeah. So Goya, instead of doing it, cleaning the avak like this, she decided to put the vacuum on and do this way. No problem, because she could have get to the end result in a kosher way without electricity. So because you could have get to the end result without electricity involved, she chose to turn on the electricity, is not a problem. So if you have a cleaning lady in the house, you're allowed to tell her, clean the house. and she's going to use vacuum cleaner, no problem. Clean the dishes, and she's going to use the dishwasher, no problem. What's the answer? Because she could have get the end result without violating the Shabbat. However, what if she wants to make your laundry on Shabbat? The cleaning lady wants to make your laundry on Shabbat. She says, listen, I'm here to clean, nachon? So I'll put the laundry machine also on the Shabbat. What's the difference between the dishwasher, the vacuum machine, or the laundry machine? What's the difference?
This one,
Tell us.
she didn't have another way.
Oh, is there a way that you can wash clothes in a kosher way on Shabbat?
Oh, kosher.
Let's say right now you're eating something and the ketchup spilled. Chuck.
Throw the lake.
Is it allowed to take the water, just water, no soap, ככה לעשות, and rub it? According to Jewish law, it's not allowed. That's called Mechalel Shabbat because of Mechabes. Person, the Melaben, person is washing the clothes on Shabbat, it's asur. So there is no way you can wash the clothes in a kosher way because even regular water you cannot rub against your clothes. So that's why the laundry machine will not be allowed for the Goya to turn on the Shabbat. Because there is no way for her to wash the laundry in a kosher way b'Shabbat. Abandem? So that's the dishwasher allowed, vacuum cleaner allowed, laundry machine that's not allowed because she's going to have no way to do it in a kosher way. Rabbi Yazaretz, you had a question?
ספנג', מה עם ספנג' בית אחיזה, שיש לו בית אחיזה? כאילו מה...
יש בית אחיזה מותר. כן, יש בית אחיזה מותר גם כן. כן, כן, לשטוף.
למה יש את הבית אחיזה? כי זה... מה לא אתה אגיד?
כי זה כלי. הרעבד אומר because it's like כלי.
וגם אתה יודע שאתה הולך להיזהר בסחיטה.
כן, כן.
לשטוף מה?
לשטוף כלים.
אז מה,
מותר.
יש לך את הבית אחיזה?
מותר, מרן פסק מותר.
הבית
שין כ"א,
אחיזה מודיע
שין
לך,
כ'.
הבית אחיזה...
בללחוץ או בלנגד?
אפילו לרחוץ. אפילו בחוזקה, אומר הרב משה לוי, אפילו בחוזקה מותר. because יש לו בית אחיזה. So, all this situation is very practical every Shabbatot. Sometimes a woman says, Rabbi, listen, I myself don't know all the laws of Shabbat. I know you're not allowed to cook, you're not allowed to drive, but sometimes, don't forget, sometimes Victor can have a guest. Tomorrow, Be'ezrat Hashem, your daughter is going to get married to a person that is Shomer Shabbat, Shomer Mitzvot.
Amen.
Be'ezrat Hashem. You want her to go on the right path. I'll tell you, I work in the Jewish court. Tell them what's a Jewish court?
Bedin.
Bedin. Out of 1,000 divorce cases, I'm not exaggerating. Out of 1,000 divorce cases that I have seen, maybe 950 of them are couples, zugot, that they're not Shomer Shabbat. When a person is not Shomer Shabbat, chances that the family will stay together is very, very low. Very, very low. Because he wants to go to the beach on Shabbat, she wants to go to her friends on Shabbat. That's they offer them. So then they have conflict of interest. He wants to go to surf, she wants to go to golf. He wants to go here, she wants to go there. But whenever you know Shabbat, we're not going anywhere. We are home. Now you have to right now sit together. So the family is maintained much healthier. Out of, I'm telling you, 1,000 cases I've seen, 950, I'm not exaggerating, are Mehalelei Shabbat people. So it's very important that we, in order to maintain our family together, husband, wife, and the kids, is only the Shabbat table. That's so important. Without phones, Victor.
No phones.
Without phones, without laptops, without any businesses, without any side things. You understand? איך קוראים לאדוארד אשתו? זה? שמלוב, כן? שמלוב? שמלוב.
למה?
כן? Mr. Shamalov, you understand? In order to maintain the Shabbat, the family together, we must have the Shabbat table. Without the Shabbat table, family is goes apart.
Right.
I was one time in Israel, in the yeshiva in Yerushalayim. On Friday, I used to go to Chulon to talk to people to do tshuva. One of the guys over there I remember his name was Guy. I tell him, Guy, tell me the truth. When was the last time you said, he was Chiloni, when was the last time you said, you, your father, your mother, your sisters, your brothers, around one table without any distractions of phones or going out or watching TV? Mamash, you and the family, when was the last time?
Never.
He was thinking. Tell the truth, Rabbi. I remember it in the last 10 years. 10 years. I said, why? Said, every Shabbat, I go out with my friends. My sister goes out with her friends. My father watches his football games. And my mother talking on the phone about nonsense. That's every Shabbat like this. So, what? Shabbat table together? No, we just eat like this. Go. I go to my shtuyot. My sister goes to her shtuyot. And like this, life goes on. It was at that time 17, 18 years old. Right before army age. Mamash b'fnei hatzava. And I realized, I said, wow, people that they don't have Shabbat, they have no family. They can, it's people, it's like a roommates, you know, that you live in the same house, you have nothing in common if you don't have Shabbat in life. It's like, you know, we eat in the same kitchen, we use the same toilets, we eat on the same table, but not in the same time. And even if it happened to be in the same time, we're both on our own businesses. I'm in my phone, she's on her phone, I'm talking with my friend, she's talking to her friend. And like this, there is no unity to the family. That's why, Rabotai, in order to maintain healthy family, we must have a day off. You know, every normal society has a day off. HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised to Am Yisrael that the one day off will be only to you is the Shabbat. Look, whenever Christianity, Natsrut, came to the world, they made a whole revolution, crusade. Whoever doesn't become Christian, will slaughter him, will burn him, will kill him. They were successful in pushing their Christianity into many people in the world. What day of rest did they choose? Sunday. Then 600 years later came Islam. Allahu Akbar! Whoever doesn't listen to Islam, boom, boom, he's gonna die. Okay, what day you chose to rest on the week? Friday. Nobody chose the Shabbat. How Kadosh Baruch Hu made such a miracle? Why? Promised. To Kadosh Baruch Hu said to Am Yisrael, "Matana achat yesh li bebet genazai v'Shabbat shema." I have one matana, one gift in my treasury, and it's called Shabbat. I don't give it to anybody. I only give it to Jewish people. So you see, Christianity don't keep Shabbat. Islam doesn't keep Shabbat. Only Jewish people have their merit, the zechut, to be people that they are Shomer Shabbat. So Baruch Hashem, Rabotai, we should look at the Shabbat as a gift that God gave us, not as a burden. Oh, Shora Shabbat, again we have to cook, oh, again we have to make osvo, again we have to make chulent, again we have to run around. Afuch, the Shabbat has to be the onig, that father is in the house, the mother is in the house, the kids are all together, sitting around one table and sharing divrei Torah to one another. I'll tell you another common problem that people have in the families, that they are not Shomer Torah and Mitzvot. Many times, let's say right now, the son is in the medical business. The girl is in a beauty salon business. The father is in real estate business, and the mother is in the bakery business. They sit right now all together around one table. So the baker talks about baking stuff. The father says, listen, leave me alone with your bakery. I have nothing to do with your bakery. What do I have to do with your baking? No, listen, I tell you this recipe and this recipe and this thing. You know how many times the women get together and start talking about the recipe? And the man is like, okay, what's next? Like, you know, what do I have to do with your recipes right now? Let's talk about something that everybody will be enjoying. What is that? The real estate guy enjoys real estate. The bakery girl enjoys the bakery. This guy enjoys the barbershop, and this guy enjoys his other business. What is going to be one topic, noseh echad, that everybody can enjoy? So, wow, something interesting. Something I can take home with. Only the Divrei Torah. That's our Rabotai. When we have Divrei Torah, we keep Shabbat and we say Divrei Torah on the Shabbat table. This is what keeps all the family together, be'emet together. Because some Sephardic cultures have tradition to sit together. Azkara, Brit Milah, Shabbat Hatan. But what's there to talk during the Brit Milah meal, during the Shabbat Hatan meal, or during the Azkara or Yushvo meal? What is to talk about that everybody will be interested in? And there's nothing, one topic, sheya'anyen et kulam, everybody will be interested. There's no such a thing. So therefore, Rabotai, whenever the father comes home, I tell all the time the husbands, and I tell you women also to demand that from your husbands. I cook the physical food, the basar, orez, all the meat, the rice, all the goshgija, all the things. I work hours and hours to make sure that there'll be physical food. Your job is to listen to the divrei Torah of the rabbi or somewhere else. You have to prepare the ruhani food, the spiritual food. That everybody will sit on the Shabbat table, will listen to a story, will listen to a moral, a certain message. It should not be, okay, Donald Trump, what he said, and Biden, what did he say? Biden, Biden. So it has to be something that will interest all of us. And this is only Divrei Torah. That's why, Rabotai, it's important. There was one time, a friend came and said, Rabbi, I have a guest coming to me. I don't know what to tell him. Can you give me a topic that is going to interest him? He's not observant. What am I going to talk to him about? He's still sitting in my house for Shabbat. What am I going to tell him? I told him, listen, tell him a case that happened in our shul. What's the case? He says, in our shul was one bar mitzvah. This bar mitzvah boy did not have brit milah. His father was not observant at all when the child was born. Even brit milah, he didn't do to the child. Now he became 13 years old. He wants to put the tefillin. He wants to, the father's, brothers, relatives said, hello, bar mitzvah you have to do, bar mitzvah, 13 years old. But the rabbi came and said, listen, but this child didn't have brit milah. How are you going to have bar mitzvah for him? I said, wow, that's an interesting topic. What's the answer? Are you allowed to make bar mitzvah to a boy that did not have brit milah? He didn't have the first sign when he was a boy, 8 years old. Torah says that the brit milah is the oath. Is a sign between you and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The first sign he didn't have. Can you put the second sign, tefillin? Ukshartam le'ot al yadecha. Tefillin is oath. Can you put the second sign on him? Oh no, he doesn't have the first one. מה עושים? ויקטור, מה אתה אומר? נעשה לו ברית ובר מצווה at the same time? מה נעשה איתו? What are we going to do with him? So this person that came to the Shabbat table, he told me afterwards, he said, Rabbi, he doesn't like when I say Divrei Torah, but this Divrei Torah, wow, he was listening like this. What's the answer? What's the answer? I said, why? He doesn't have Brit Milah. What happened to him?
What if a couple, a Jewish person decided to say, hey, this primitive rabbi is doing Brit Milah, I'm going to take him to the doctor and do it, and he did it.
You can do it to the doctor, however, you're going to lose out on the bracha. And if the doctor is not religious or not Jewish, so that doesn't count as a Brit Milah.
So what do you do with the kid?
You just lost a mitzvah.
No, but you can do it.
What can the kid do? He grows up and he wants to be religious.
He lost out a mitzvah. So,
Done.
And it's so important to do Brit Milah with a kosher moel, mean to say Reshamayim person, is because after 120, Gemara says, Zohar says, that Abraham Avinu sits in the gates of Gehenom in Olam Haba and sees whoever has Brit Milah, he saves him from Gehenom. That's how important it is for the boys to have a kosher Brit Milah. Whenever there is a kosher Brit Milah, the child will be saved from Gehenom. Who will be the one to take him out of the Gehenom? Abraham Avinu. Why? Because Abraham Avinu was the first Yehudi that did the Brit Milah by the commandment of Hashem. So because he dedicated so much for the Brit Milah, Hashem said, I'm putting you in charge. You will be the one to save all the Jewish descendants, the children of the Jewish people that have a kosher Brit Milah. That's important to do Brit Milah, not with a goy doctor or with the Mechalel Shabbat Jewish doctor. It should be, you can do it in the hospital, but make sure it's going to be a kosher mohel. No.
שהילד הגיע מסתם שאבא היה גוי ועשו לו ברית שם על ידי לא יודעים מי והרב פסק לעשות לו שריטה קלה.
כן, הטפת דם.
כן, אפילו בלי הטפת דם, אמר רק לעשות שריטה, משהו,
Yeah, that's what the baby has to go through again אחר כך. כואב. למה צריך לעשות? Therefore, it's painful already. But that's why the best is to do the Brit Milah when the child is 8 days old. Vayom hashemini imol b'sar olato with kosher moel, not with the Mechalel Shabbat doctor or with the goy doctor, God forbid. This, Rabotai, was our tradition for thousands of years. Nobody died from it. Nobody got sick from it. Baruch Hashem, the Mu'alim doing the best job because they are experienced. They're all the time doing it, and they have tradition of how to do it from ancient times all the way till nowadays. So therefore, it's very important that the child will have a kosher brit milah. Okay, Rabotai, now we want to go into a very important point about the laws of Chinuch.
So what was the answer again?
Huh?
You told us the story, but I forgot.
The story I told that it's not holding back one another, but it's recommended that he will be doing the brit milah right now. This way he's going to come to the mitzvot before the bar mitzvah. Better to do like this. This way he's going to come to the bar mitzvah already with a brit milah ot. The sign of the brit milah will be on him. That's what they did at the end. They did a brit milah on him at the age of 13. It was painful, but he had to go through this.
I was a sandak one time for 21 years old boy. Doing brit with the rabbi in the hospital.
היית
They called
סנדק?
me to be the sandak.
Wow.
And I said, okay.
So there is
Then
another
my
victor in the
partner-
world
My
now.
partner called me, he told me you're going to be the sandak. I said, yes, no problem, of course. He told me, okay, so let's go. He told me, you know how old is the boy? I said, yeah, he's 8 days, no? So you know, he's 21 years old. I didn't know. I said, okay, listen. I said, already, I said,
Oh,
as long as...
whoever is Rabotai, that's important also point. Whoever is sandak, make sure is going to be shomer Shabbat. So the person has to show mechalel Shabbat. Is a mashpi al hayeled. It's going to give bad effect, bad energy on the child. That's why I always give being sandak to a person that it is shomer Shabbat. What if a person is not shomer Shabbat? You tell him, listen, Abba, Mama is not sandak.
It's the father-in-law.
Abba.
The father-in-law.
Abba, our father-in-law, I want to give you sandak, it's a kavod, but please, you also give kavod to Hashem. Be shomer Shabbat. You accept on yourself shomer Shabbat. We make a deal. I give you sandak free. You keep the Shabbat free. Don't ask me for any money after. It's like this. We make one hand washes the other. I'm telling you, Rabotai, this deal before sandak, something lights up in every Sephardi heart. He hears sandak, beseder, I'll do Shabbat. Even if you can get 1 year Shabbat, not all life long. Say, afilu to say 1 year Shabbat. No arbe. Okay, half a year Shabbat. Like this, you break a deal with him. After he already starts half a year, it's already going to continue more than half a year. You just have to start him off and take advantage of Botai. Sometimes your father, sometimes your father-in-law, he wants to be the sandak. Don't just give it like that. Use the opportunity. Tell him, listen, you're not shomer Shabbat. You're going to affect my child. You want to affect the grandchild. It's going to give him bad mazal. Why? Here's this. He's going to start keeping the Shabbat. Or chas v'shalom, he shaves with the razor. Tell him, listen, you shave with the razor. How is going to be sandak? It's a problem. There was one time a person came to me, he said, Rabbi, I want to shave during the Omer because I have a big business meeting. Millions. Rabbi, I don't want to come like this. It was Omer, 30th day. I don't want to come like this to the business meeting. I want to come, no, look normal. Rabbi, can you give me permission to shave before the 30th, before like Ba'omer? He said, Rabbi, I'll pay. I said, no, not about pay. Don't worry about pay. I tell him, listen, tell me the truth. What type of machine do you use when you shave? How do you shave? No, Rabbi, don't ask this. I said, why not? Why do you shave? I said, Rabbi, I shave, with a razor. He asking me to allow him to cut off the beard before Lag Ba'omer is up. And he is shaving with a razor. I told him, listen, shaving with a razor? This is forbidden by the Torah. Every morning when you shave with a razor, it's like you eat 5 times pig. 5 times, every time. Lo chabal. Wow, Rabbi, it's so serious, I didn't know. And he was saying also Kaddish. I said, listen, this mouth that you say Kaddish with, you cut with a razor. How do you want your Kaddish to be accepted? Why? I touched his heart. I said, okay, Rabbi, I'm going to get myself a machine. You're going to allow me to shave with before millions of dollars? אתה רואה איך תופסים אנשים? ככה תפסתי אותו. Like this, Baruch Hashem, I told him, yeah, this upcoming Friday, you shave Lichvot Shabbat with a machine, but on the condition that you're not going to shave with a razor anymore. He said, no problem. Until today. At the beginning, he said, Rabbi, I have a problem with my skin. It's going to bother me. I said, few weeks, your skin is going to get used to it. It's not going to bother you anymore. And I promise you, I'll buy you the best machine. Rabbi, you're going to pay? I said, I'm going to pay. For you not to shave with a razor, you got it. He went, Rabotai, he bought the best machine. Eventually, he said, Rabbi, don't worry about the payment. I'll take care of it. But From now on, he's not shaving with the razor anymore. How did I grab him? The moment. You want to be sandak? You cannot be shaving with the razor. You want to be sandak? You cannot be mechalel Shabbat. Like this, Rabotai, a person is willing. בסדר, אני אעשה את המצווה. In order for me to get the sandak, in order for me to get the kavod, I'll do the mitzvah the right way. And עד היום, years already passed, he's shaving with a kosher machine. That's how Rabotai grab like this. You have a brother, you have a brother-in-law, you have a sister doesn't shave. You have the different type of situations that they are. You can grab them at the moment of the mitzvot. They will grab on the mitzvah.
I
Ken?
have a question, sorry.
Yes, Jonah.
So what happens, like, if the person refuses to keep Shabbat? Do you just give this sandak to somebody else then? I mean, like, what happens? If
It's a good question. It's a good question.
Yeah,
The
they say,
tenth,
I'm
the
not gonna
tenth.
do it, I'm sorry.
Right.
Just bypass the person and go to the next person that you have in mind? Or
Right.
do you kind of,
I'll tell you, the Or Letzion, Be'emet, a person that does not keep Shabbat is going to affect the child. It's going to give him bad mazal. It's written. It's not the right thing to do. To give sandak, it's such a holy mitzvah. To give it to a person that doesn't keep Shabbat. It's going to ruin his mazal, the child's mazal. The lack. You know what mazal is? The lack of the child.
look, yeah.
But what are you going to do? Sometimes it's your father. Sometimes it's his father. What are you going to do? You don't want to go into arguments in the family. So Or Letzion writes, Ben Zion Abba Shaul, he says, in order to keep kavod of Abba ve'ima, the mitzvah of respecting them, according to Sephardi people, you have to respect even father or mother that they are kofrim.
Like the way they are, pretty much.
Right.
They are the way they are.
The Sephardi people have to respect parents, even if they are not the most straight people.
Yeah.
Afilu kofer, Maran paskin to us that he has to keep we have to respect him. So it says the zechut of respecting your father will protect the child.
I like to share some story.
הנה, הרב יגיד לנו סטורי, בכבוד.
Friend, was friend, they have a boy, baby boy, and his father is Mechalel Shabbat, and not just Mechalel Shabbat, not connected to nothing. And he asked his father, he said, Abba, we have problem with come to the Rabbi
חיים קניבסקי. זכר צדיק לברכה.
He come to the Rabbi Kanievsky, and he said, Rabbi, what to do? And Rabbi Kanievsky looked at the father, look, he say, he's tzaddik, give him to the father. And from this day, it's changing, coming to be Baal Shabbat completely.
Why?
Completely.
Why?
Say, if the Rabbi Kanievsky give me honor, kavod, I change my life.
Wow. So here is a solution for you. You bring it to Rabbi Shachar. Rabbi Shachar looks at him and says, you tzaddik.
Because sometimes the parents have a lot of kavod, you know. If you say, Abba, you pushed, you're nothing. I give to my rabbi.
Right, it's not
No,
good. It's not good.
It's making more far from the Torah.
Right. That's why if you have the situations, always consult with the rabbi. Rabbi, there is a baby boy, Baruch Hashem, Mazal Tov. We want to give it to our father-in-law, and sometimes it's not a Shomer Shabbat. What should we do? So the rabbi will handle the situation better because he will also be able to cut a deal with him about Shabbat, about the razor, about kashrut, about mitzvot. Sometimes there is people that they Shomer Shabbat, but they cheat on their wives. The father-in-law or the father, they cheat on his wife. You want such a person to be your mazal to your child? Hashem yirachim. So what do you do? So these situations, you have to always have a rabbi, that this rabbi is your family rabbi. This also will save you a lot of shalom bayit arguments. Sometimes the wife says, I want B. The husband says, I want A. What do you do? You always have to have a mediator. Who is the mediator? The rabbi. Rabbi that you both agree on. Not that he takes her side always or he takes his side always. Something that the rabbi will decide according to the Torah. The rabbis, because they learn all day long Torah, their mind becomes like the Torah's mind. It's called Da'at Torah. The mind of the rabbi becomes like you open the Sefer Torah, and the Sefer Torah will tell you what to do. And this will save you a lot of arguments on the family. A lot. Because it's not I said, it's the rabbi said. If he lost in this argument, the rabbi took her side for whatever reason, the husband cannot say nothing. The rabbi said, not me. If she lost, the rabbi took his side, she will not be able to say anything. What? The rabbi says, not me. Like this, you always, both sides are always clean without arguments. You know how many divorces will be saved just because of this concept. So Rabotai, we're getting married. We want our kids to get married. We want our grandkids to get married. As they say, one-way ticket, without return. We have no return policy. How do we make sure that our family, our kids, our grandkids will be one-way tickets without return policies? Always, whenever you keep the Shabbat, with divrei Torah on the Shabbat table, and with a rabbi that is between the husband and wife. Whenever there's disagreements, that's the rabbi we're going to ask. Like this is going to maintain your family for many, many years to come, healthy and wealthy. Be'ezrat Hashem. Now, Rabotai, about the Chinuch Yeladim, I want to tell you. I'm going to read to you over here and translate to you. This is a book we started already a few weeks, Rabbi Zamir's Cohen book, and I decided to start from the beginning, from page 11. And he's talking over here, the first point, about the difference between Chinuch and Iluf. Asaf, you know what's the difference in English? Chinuch is?
I know, his
Education. Iluf is?
Iluf is,
Huh?
like you're training an animal.
How do you say training an animal?
Training a dog.
Like, Iluf, כן? ככה קוראים אומרים באנגלית.
No, training. In English.
When you're training a dog, what's the
Training a
difference
horse,
between training a dog, or educating a child? What's the difference? You know what's the difference? If you beat up a dog 1,000 times to let the cat out, not to run after the cat. The moment you left the dog by himself with the cat, would he run after the cat? Of course.
Yes.
If you want to make sure, are you educating your children or are you training them like a dog? You know what will be the answer? When do you know if you're training your child like you're training a dog, or do you educate your child?
When you're not next to
Leave them
them.
alone.
When you're not next to them.
Not next to them.
So you want that your influence on the children will not be for short term until you're next to them. And then it's das vidanya, it's not next to you anymore. No, you don't need it. The policeman is away. One of the things the Chachamim telling us, you have to always worry about the child doing something that he can repeat doing that when he's adult. On this point, you have to educate him. But Victor, think about your child is running on the table with his shoes on. Mi olech on the table with the shoes on. Who does these things? So, what is the nature of a person right away? Ani Abba Shelo, I'm his father, I have to educate him. Come, bole po, come here, don't get up on the table with the shoes on. Mazel, bacteria, you're making all balagan. Rabotai, is this education or no? Это воспитание или нет? What do you say?
Yeah.
Asaf, what do you say? Is this education or no?
No.
Says Rabbi Zamir Cohen, it's not education. You know why? Because the question to you is as follows. Mishalamov, when he will be not 5 years old, when he will be 55 years old, would he still walk on the table with shoes on? Hopefully not.
He's drunk.
Even if he's drunk, he's not going to walk on the table. He's going to fall. So we have to always choose our battles, because fighting with the children on every single move they do, it's just overwhelming them. It's too much. Every step I do, I'm wrong. Abba, Nicole, everything I'm wrong. I'm doing this wrong. It is wrong. Come on. You cannot always put a child, criticize him. You are wrong in this. You are wrong in that. You are wrong in this. That's not the way to do this. It's impossible. A person is going to feel overwhelmed, and then he's not going to listen. What happens to a certain level, whenever you are saying so many negative criticism, what happens is the child becomes closed, and anything you will say from this point on, he's not interested in. You're going to call him, he's not going to pick up. You're going to email him, he's not going to respond. You're going to no answer. Why? Because the parents lost one important idea in their mind. Instead of choosing their battles, they just put a note on every single mistake they have done. And that's not the right way. The right way is to choose what is a mistake that will be repeated when the child is older. So walking on the table with the shoes on is not a mistake he's going to repeat. But if you're seeing him walking on the house, he finished the sushi and he left the plates, the chairs, cups, kacha, as is. You know, you buy building as is. As is. That's the way he left the table. Tomorrow he's going to be with people. When he's going to be adult, 20, 25, 30 years old. When he was a child, what was all the time he was? He living under the table. But it's important that sometimes people have a little money to afford cleaning lady. So the child is used to, the cleaning lady will do it. What do I need to do it for? You don't need to do it to save me hours on the cleaning lady expense. You need to do it for your education. Tomorrow that you will be an adult, I'm telling you, I see people sitting on the class sometimes. The class is finished. Certain people get up, they take their stuff with them. Certain people get up, they are adults, they are religious, but they were never educated. They leave the plates, the cups, the tissues, akol kacha, orchim. So this is the wrong education that they grow up with. I remember there was one neighbor in Israel. When I used to live in Israel, there was one neighbor. He came to my house. You know, in Israel, all the shchenim go to each other like this. Like a fun family. Hi. Not even knocking. Opens the door, walks inside. And he says, do you have a orange? I want orange. There was piles of fruits over there. Orange. He comes, he eats the orange. Everything. Me, my sister, my other people in the house looking at him. I asked him, listen, your mom didn't teach you how to eat? I said, what? Who eats like this? I said, my mom also eats like that. Then the student said, wow, Bechora, this guy, baby, doesn't know. He was not eating, this tapuz. The chulza, the jacket, everything ate that tapuz also, that orange. And the answer to the question was, my mom does the same thing. Rabotai, tells us that when the child grows up, you don't want him to eat like this. This is something you have to make sure that you're going to give him chinuch about. But if it's something that he is not going to repeat when he's going to be an adult, he's already going to change it. You want it or not, the society will make him change it. On this, choose your battles. Be a smart investor. Don't invest in everywhere. Make sure you invest in the right investments. So you're going to get the best return out of it. Another important message about kids' education is the difference between chinuch and iluf, as we said, between training the child or educating the child, is getting to the result quickly or slowly. Sometimes the parents lacking patience to explain to the child why this and that's supposed to be done. And the answer is lama kacha. When the child hears no answer and explanation to a certain thing, maybe this time he will do it. Next time he will not do it unless you'll scream at him to do it. Third time he will not do it unless you scream and maybe even give him a mishaberach one in order for him to do it. The child many times needs explanation, even though it's going to take time out of you. It's patience. As everybody say all the time, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. It's something that you're going to always be succeeding only if you're going to have patience to explain. There was one time they asked about the Rambam, how the Rambam became such an educated person. The Rambam is listed as one of the 18 most smart people of the world by the Goim. Goim has a list of 18 most smart people in the world ever exists. And who is on that list? The Rambam. When the Rambam was a child, he had a passion about medicine. After he studied the Torah is full about medicine also. Different type of medicine, different type of combinations of chemicals that you have to do in order to heal people from different diseases. So after you finish the whole Shas, the whole Gemara, you're interesting more about how to practice it in reality. So he goes to one doctor, and he wanted that doctor to teach him how to practice medicine. The doctor was a goy. He was afraid that the Rambam is going to learn all the secrets of the job, and then he's going to open his own spot, his own medical office.
Pharmacy.
So he wanted to make sure that no one, the helpers of the doctor, will be educated person. Because if he will be educated person, he will learn the job very quick. Then he's going to have competitors. So the Rambam came to him, and he said, the Rambam's father told the Rambam, how are you going to go to him? You're not going to be able to go to him. He's very cheap guy. He's not going to let know nothing, no information, nothing. He only willing to work with a person that is dumb. Rambam said, I'll pretend like I'm a dumb. I am a dumb person. How? Back in the day, who was a dumb person? Hiresh. Person that was deaf back in the day was considered to be dumb. Why? The mind develops the most when a person listens. Even God forbid a person does not see well, but in order to develop the mind needs more listening than seeing. So that's why back in the day, a person that was Hiresh considered to be shote, like a person that has no development of the brain. Listen what happened to the Rambam. Rambam goes to that meeting with the doctor, and now the doctor doesn't believe that the Rambam is deaf. He wanted to trick the Rambam, to find out the truth. How? He told his helper, he said, listen, I don't believe this guy is deaf. He's a tricky guy. He's not Harish. He's a regular guy, just wants to learn out my tricks. So what do you want me to do? He said, take a big havit, big barrel, go all the way to the roof. On the bottom, put a metal that is going to make big noise when you're going to hit. As soon as I'm going to start talking to him, the conversation about medicine, about different ways to heal people, different diseases, you drop this barrel from the high floor on that metal. As soon as he's going to hear it, he's going to turn. It's the nature of a person. And then I'm going to catch him that is not deaf. Okay. They go to the meeting, the Rambam, the big doctor, and the father of the Rambam, and the other people are over there. Hi, the doctor talks about with the Rambam, with pantomima, איך זה נקרא? Silent language. Silent language. ככה. And the Rambam goes, זורם איתו, ככה. Suddenly, tatach! The barrel was falling on the metal. Everybody was shocked from the noise. It was so noisy. The Rambam did not budge, did not move a little bit. He didn't know it's planned out. Suddenly you're boom! Nature of a person right away is to turn. Right away get shocked. The Rambam did not move. They say the Rambam, when he got into the meeting, he put in himself such a self-control. I am right now deaf. I don't hear nothing. He put in himself such a shlita atzmit, such a self-control, to the point that even such a barrel, when it fell on such a metal, he did not move. So what do we see from here? If you want to be successful in any field, first thing you have to have is shlita atzmit, is self-control. If you want Rabotai to be successful with the education of your children, first thing you have to have about yourself is shlita atzmit, self-control. Don't lose your self-control, because the moment you lost your self-control, at that moment you prove to the child how weak you are. The child knows this takes off mommy, this takes off daddy. I'm going to scream, I'm going to do this, I'm going to misbehave, I'm going to get my point, because that's what's going to break my father, that's what's going to break my mother. You have to have, Rabotai, strong self-control, shlita atzmit, in order to be successful in any field, especially in the field of the kids' education. That's why whenever you go to the store, Asaf, and your child makes a whole tararam over there because he wants the chocolate on the cashier stage. You know there's a chocolates over there? Why do you think they put it over there? Because you wait in line to the cashier with the children. They know they're going to make good sales over there. The child starts crying and screaming, and the child already had enough chocolate today. If you're going to be self-controlled, controlling yourself, no matter what the child is going to do, I'm not going to break. The child knows Abba, Ima are solid.
Strong.
Very strong. I'm going to cry, I'm going to fall, I'm going to bang the floor, I'm going to make a whole show right now in front of everybody. Mommy and daddy are not going to break. Next time, you're not even going to go through this. You know why? Because you were very strong. Whenever you said no, it was 100% no. Therefore, Rabotai, if we want to have successful children, we have to have successful parents. We have to be successful parents. And one of the biggest things that we have to be successful in is self-control. Therefore, Rabotai, patience is a virtue when it comes to kids' education. Have extra patience with them, and you'll see how the children are going to become knowing. Ima said, no, I'm going to do whatever I want. It's not going to happen. Ima said, no. Abba said, no, no matter what's going to happen, it's going to be no. Like this, the kids will learn their lesson and will know that their father, the mother are healthy parents. And when the father and mother are healthy parents, the kids are going to be healthy kids. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. Amen.